Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we will be covering the steps on how to create and manage routines. So let's dive right in. Okay, this video is going to be split up into the planning phase and then the choreography. So let's start with the planning phase. So for planning, you're going to look at your timeline. That's the most important thing. Before you even start riding in the arena, we need to know what are we doing, how much time do we have. So for example, I have Chronicles of Youth here. And the submissions opened on the 23rd and it's gonna close on the 1st, so that gives us 8 weeks and 5 days. So what I then do is I make a spreadsheet and I just say week 1 to 8 and then I plan everything out. So ideally we have 2 lessons per week, which was a lot pushing for our club. So obviously this is I would recommend the base minimum you need because it does take a lot of time. We could manage with this. It's a lot of effort though, and you need to use that hour to the best of your advantage. So I'm not saying this is the perfect method. More is always better, but this is just a general idea of what you can do. So for the first lesson, we stuck to planning. So that's getting on everyone's ideas. What do they want to do? What are their aims for the routine? Since we're all working together, we kind of need to plan for everyone. Then we start working into the choreography. So this is where we actually choreograph our routine, which I'm going to be talking more about later. Then we have 4 lessons for perfecting. This is doing the hard sequences, sorting out gaps the best we can, trying to fix as much as we can, and trying to make it look as neat as possible. And then we have 3 lessons for filming, but I would suggest already filming at the perfecting stage if you can get a clean run here, because you do put a lot of pressure on your riders if you're saying, listen, we only have 3 sessions to record a really nice routine. So it does end up getting a bit hectic and stressful. And then if all else fails, you do have those extra 5 days. Let's say your power is out, you don't have internet, one of the riders has a crisis or whatever, you do have those extra 5 days you can put in to get a better take. But with this planning, you will have 17 hours in total, split up into 9 hours for choreography, 4 hours for perfecting, and 3 hours for filming. So yeah, that's just a general base layout, base idea of what we want to achieve and where we need to be within each lesson. Then we're going to look at the requirements, and that's actually before we get into planning. You need to have the requirements in stage before you have that planning lesson. A routine must have 8 riders. This was, I think, for trainee trials or internationals, I can't remember at the moment. Routine must have 8+ riders. Routine length must be between 5 to 7 minutes, and Dilly is speaking to himself right now. And then the theme can be around anything, so make sure you obviously meet these requirements. And then your 5 to 7 minutes is going to come into play with choosing your theme and your story and your music, which I think is really, really important, leading on to how we're going to choreograph. We're going to first look at the score sheet, because the score sheet is going to really give you what are the judges looking for when we are making a routine. So first is the skill category, and we're first going to look at technique, which is out of 10 points. For this case, it changes for between competitions, so they always post a score sheet, so just make sure that you have the one applicable to your situation. So in the technique category, you have spacing, timing, and alignment, and all these things are coming from the SSD handbook, the competition handbook. So it's based, the score is given out of 10, and spacing is the space between each rider, intentional, organized, and even. Is the timing, are the riders going on go, are they all together, is one lagging behind, as well as alignment, like your comb alignments, slant alignments. Is one rider a bit behind the others? What are they trying to achieve? How is it looking? Are they trying to, are they, having good spacing, timing, and alignment to get a good technique score? Then we move on to mechanics, and my word for mechanics is always how smooth does the routine flow? Is it like one odd move there, one odd move there, and so on. So I always try to think about does the routine flow into the next move? Does it make sense to put that move there? So it's also how smooth are the transitions? Are formations and follow moves clean and clear? Do the riders pass through each other a lot? Clipping is really this is where clipping comes in as well, because if you have riders just riding through each other, that obviously wasn't planned. It obviously didn't flow to the next move. So you really want to avoid that at all costs, unless it's really intentional and you can see it was intentional. And then unity, how well the riders working together as a team. Do they cooperate with each other, especially if a rider makes a mistake and a quick fix is required? Do they kind of just leave each other in that gap, or are they trying to wangle and trying to help each other to fix a mistake and hide up a mistake as best as they could? So how is everyone working as a team? So that's the points for that. Then we're moving into the choreography section, which is ideally which is where the most points lie. In this case, it's out of 40. So creativity, use of arena, variety, and theme. I always say these things go hand in hand. That's why they're all under the choreography section, because one aids the other, but one can also downgrade the other. So creativity, are moves and transitions creative and unexpected? Are we doing just curls on the center line and that's all you're doing, or just trotting? And that comes into use of arena. Are you stuck to the wall and staying in the same areas, or using the entire arena where there are lots of empty trotting? Are you just trotting to get from point A to point B? That's very like, no. You never want to just trot because, oh, okay, I'm doing a curl at like this side, left side of the arena. Now I trot to the other side and then I do a curl there. That's a very basic example, but that's empty trotting. That's just trotting to get from point A to point B, which you never want. You want to have it flow. Why not rather make them canter or Dilly is flying. Why not rather make them canter or flow into another move, maybe onto another move, to get to the desired location you were thinking about. And then for variety, is there a good variety of moves, shapes, and formations, or are you doing similar things throughout the routine? Once again, this adds to creativity as well as use of arena, because if we're on this side of the arena and then we move over and this side of the arena and then here and whatever, we're increasing our creativity, we're increasing the variety, we're increasing the use of the arena, all work together. And then theme, overall does the routine meet the theme requirements? So this can be more points or less points depending on what the competition is. So if it's our own chosen theme, are we just performing moves because it's fun, or do we have a general idea and like an organized idea that we're trying to get across? Okay, now we're looking at the riders category, which is energy, difficulty, and use of riders. So for energy, is the routine exciting to watch? Are there intriguing speed changes and transition changes? Once again, I would say this is applicable to trotting from point A to point B. Like, get up that energy, get up the variety, like do something different, like really try to be creative and have those energy transitions. Don't have the whole routine take place in a canter and high energy and la 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 la. Like, have moments where you slow down to a walk, do a nice walk comb, like an eye curl or something that's very slow, and incorporates that slower movement speed. And that's also going to come into play with choosing your music, which I'm going to talk about now, as well as difficulty. How difficult is the routine to perform and choreograph? So in my opinion, this is very give and go kind of situation, because let's first take, for example, you are choreographing a pinwheel and you're going into I think it's a flurry after that. Those are two difficult moves to like do pinwheel and then kind of curve into flurry after that. Those are difficult, and you would get difficulty points for that in my opinion. But let's say your riders are not able to perform that neatly, and the spacing is off, the alignment is off, it just looks unneat and messy. You're gonna lose a lot of points in the technique category and only get maybe 2 or 3 points in the difficulty category. So really have to find a balance where can I push my riders that the routine is difficult enough, but to the point where I'm not sacrificing points in my skills category. And then use of riders. Is every rider being used efficiently? Does each rider have a unique part in the routine? Are they just walking on the sides because it's funsies? Like, we have these people just walking on the side, and then we have 2 people maybe performing something in the middle. Those riders on the side are not contributing to the routine. If I took them out of the routine, it would not change how the routine was affected. So really make sure that you're using all of your riders and that everyone has everyone is contributing to the ultimate goal. And then this slide is very bare because I'm going to talk about showing you some of our routines we've done. Is your music and your theme. It's very important. Choose something that gives you the ability to have variation, to increase those energy changes. So for example, if I'm thinking about putting together my music, I would first have it a bit maybe exciting music, then going down into slower music, then going back up into exciting music or something, because those music changes is also going to allow the choreographer to really think about how can I choreograph moves that is suited to the music we have. So really, I encourage you not to like just choose one song that's da, 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 all the time, or the very slow moving. Like really have something that is flowing and gives you the ability to add the variation. Same with the storytelling. It's good to have a story, it's not always needed, but it's good to have a general idea of what is the ultimate goal, what are we trying to achieve with this routine. But then you can also take the story too far. If you have, for example, a very intricate story with like 12 different characters, the chances are when judging, I'm going to lose you very quickly on who's where and who's what and what is the general plan. So have a story, but try and be creative with it. Definitely go out of it, but try to make sure that whatever you're doing, the message is clear to someone that hasn't been part of choreographing and planning, whatever, that only gets a small description and then has to watch the routine, because that's what the judges see. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about some of our routines. I'm at all not saying that our routines are the be all and end all. Definitely not. I'm just gonna show you what we did in the time that we had, and I think we did pretty well for people that were like on a small server, and we were really trying to make best of what we had, and I feel like we were really good on that, and we had a lot of fun as well, which is most important. But yeah, I'm going to talk you through a bit of our routines and just how our thought process went into how we choreographed it. Okay, so the first routine that I want us to look at this is all from Sweet Dragonflies. This routine we submitted, I think last year. It was one of the regional competitions. The requirements were, I can't remember how many riders at the moment, but there had to be riders disappearing at certain time points, as well as the music was given to us. So it was set, we couldn't change that at all, and then the riders needed to disappear. So that was our limitations that we were working with. And so the song name is Time from Inception. I think it's by Hans Zimmer. So this is a routine that goes really deep into a story. And this is one of those, I'm going to show you a different couple of now. This is a routine that we really try to focus as much on the story as possible. And I'm going to show you some moves we did in regards to make our theme go along. I highly recommend, please check out this video from the club. It's all going to be posted up on my channel, so I really appreciate it if you want to see the full thing. I am going to mute the music, otherwise it might get blocked, so if you don't see it, that's probably why. So we were talking about, okay, what is time mean for us, what mean to each person, and so on, and how do we bring that type of idea into our routine. And we went really deep. We went into time ultimately leads to death. We all like the cycle of life. If time continues, we're scared of death. And so I highly recommend, please read the description. It was written by 𝐀𝐢𝐬, great writer. So really just ties in everything beautifully. Okay, so firstly, you're going to see there's a white horse, and the white horse represents life. And then you have the black horses, which represents death. So I'm going to play a bit now. As you saw, the little bit of the white horse. So this is life starting out, and as they go through life, death is going to try to catch them. And the whole thing is where you can see we're a bit off on timing here, but that's not the end of the world. It still looks good. Obviously we will lose a bit of marks for that, but that timing was good. Gaps are a bit off. Gaps are a bit off there, from being very critical. But in general, I feel we did a really good job of bringing our story across. And this is one of my favorite moves coming up. So we kind of like did a clock thing. So if you watch the Phrygian's going to kind of tick away, like tick. So that's what the 𝐾𝐻𝐬𝐿 Parade did for us. It's like, this is the clock of life ticking. So that was a kind of a cool move that I felt tied in well to the theme of the routine. And here you can see riders are splitting off, like they're going this way, they are coming back in. So they still have a purpose. They're not just diving into the side because it's willy-nilly. It's trying to create variation, trying to use a bit more of this arena space. So yeah, that's what the idea was. And then life starts following death again and seeing and being intrigued, because the whole thing is that life needs to accept death, because then you can live life to the fullest. And here you can see they don't want to follow death again, but then okay, maybe I accept it this time. Maybe maybe it's my time now. Maybe I understand it now better. Maybe I can truly accept that that's what we're all going to do at the end. It's the only thing we really have in common is that we're all born and we all die. So it's a really, really deep topic. And I think it's just one of my favorite routines ever. So here, our idea was life passes through and like death tries to capture them each time but misses. So it's not always able to possible. But if you can see now, we're going on these slants now, we're going this way, now we're going back this way. So really use of arena. Here we're down transitioning, I think. Are we going into walk or are we doing a no, they're just catching up into gaps. So not the best, like, I'd say flow. The idea was there from my side. I choreographed this. I'm critiquing my own work. But what I wanted to do here is kind of bring in variation as well with creating a formation. So this is like the kind of formation we have. So instead of them just going in a straight line and going back this way, this gaps looks kind of nice, not gonna lie. I'm pretty proud of them. They did a good job there. Especially coming from, it's a bit of a wangle situation trying to get everyone in here. So what's best is you will see we're going to do a curl now. And that curl, just because we're in this type of formation, it looks completely different. So that we have rider disappearing again, and then the rider disappeared here as well. So it just creates it a bit differently. And here we're picking up speed. So our issue with this music was a bit that it's a bit slow, so it doesn't really build up into anything. And we like build up music as well, but we try to like have as much like variation as we possibly could. I think we add a bit more in the end because, and then here we have just a few more basic moves. Life, death, disappearing, life still trying to accept it. Here we are. Here we pick up the pace a lot, just trying to get that energy in, just trying to do something different, completely trying to use our arena as best as we could. So I really just liked what this routine symbolized. It really truly means a lot to me. And at the end, I love our ending. You can see there's only one death and one life and death left. At the end, life finally accepts death. Death like wins, but doesn't win because they changed. You can see the red hat change there. That symbolizes a poppy, so you can read up on what's the meaning of poppy as well. So but yeah, they represent a poppy. It's just like the remembrance of life basically. And yeah, kind of just like life accepted death, but in a beautiful way, because they did do it, like they did live life to the fullest at the end of the day, and they are remembered for what they did, and so on, by their loved ones and so on. So that's why this person changed into the red hat, for symbolizing the red poppy. So I find that super sweet and super cute, and yeah, that is just okay. Here we have our internationals routine from last year. We did struggle a bit because my planning was not the great, but not the best, but we learned from it. And I owe it a lot to the writers for really picking up my slack that I had there. So we did Mamma Mia, as you can see in the title. I'm gonna post it properly. But yeah, we have Mamma Mia music. Highly recommend to check it out more. Here our idea of choreography was that we have these two writers and they are kind of dancing the night away, but they kind of lost each other in the crowd and then they find each other again. So I think it's a really cute routine. We did really well. I'm gonna show you another favorite move of mine here. Here they kind of lose each other, so here they kind of split up. So remember now, we're in the middle again with the circle, so get out of that space. Don't want to form another circle, so we're doing a slant. Here you can see, choreography wise, there's nothing special that goes into planning something like this. This was literally like, okay, what if we fish and they maybe group up and like change direction again. So really don't try to overthink moves like that. Just, you can see there's a story going on. All writers are contributing to the story. Here, something like, just note, for example, these writers are splitting off. They're not just following. So that's just like a teeny tiny way to, they're still doing the same move. I think this writer needs to go do something else here. Oh, this writer just grouped up again with these people. So it's like, you would see there that it's not really so dramatic, but it adds a bit like, oh, okay, we're gonna do it dancing and so on. We're grouping up again. It's my friends. Oh, but now we see these people are kind of lost, so let's go and help them. So that was the idea with that. So they kind of pick each other up again. And now we kind of went this way, so we're going back over this way. These people are here in the corner. I think they just did a did they do a bloom? Oh, I mean a cave. Yeah, they were doing a cave as well. So not just having them statically here, they are performing moves. So yeah, they did cave, really good timing with that, and then they're gonna pick each other up and kind of join the whole group each other, because they ultimate goal is like, these people know, like these dancers know, like, oh, these partners are like looking for each other, so they're gonna try to bring them again to each other. I actually love this. So here they do switch. Very cool, very nice. Making space. We did it in canter and trot, add a variation in gait changes. I love this part that's coming up. It's like absolutely my fave. So they do curl to the outside. This is really where the choreography comes in, because I knew that I wanted these people to group up at the end of the day, but what do we do with these people? So to add variation, you can see if you go through this. Firstly, they just do curls to the outside. I think it was a B curl then. Was it a orbit? Not sure, can't remember. But instead of these people just following again, these people are doing moves together with each other now, because they're partners. They group up a bit too close to each other, not the end of the world, a bit behind, fixing it as best as they can. So these are the partners dancing. That's like the partners are grouped up dancing. They're kind of checking out the dance floor again. Just in general, it's not as deep as our previous routine. We just really liked Mamma Mia music. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. So now we kind of want to put spotlight on, first was a bit late there, bit off on alignment. So stuff like that won't make it a winning routine, because you need to have it flawless. And I want you to say it's okay. Like, it's okay if everything is not perfect. Yes, we aim for it, but you need to have fun as well. And we had a really good time putting this together at the end of the day. So once again, what I just talked about, we're coming into a formation here as best as we can, leading up to a move. Like, this is where everyone groups up and we're like, oh, okay, let's try to dance together. I think they needed to be in staggered. That's why I can't remember if it needed to be. I think it needed to be staggered there, because we're going into this move now, and you'll see now for that you need staggered alignment. So I set them up there. I hope that's what we did. I hope that didn't mean to be comb, but in any case, stuff like that, like, it happens. It doesn't mean you have to quit your whole routine. It's a very minor thing, and of course we're working on being like not having those things, but it shouldn't deter you from not trying. So yeah, they're passing booty through booty, crossing moves, and now they're gonna pick up the pace. We just went from walk, we're trotting. We really need to pick up pace now. So now everyone changes into their party hats. It's like the last big dance, like everyone's joining in. So we're making a big circle and everyone's having a big jolt of a time. I love the circle. I love how it like kind of flows in. Like, it kind of just worked out. This required a bit of wangling from each rider, because trying to make space. You see they're trotting. These people are cantering to get the gaps between them to make space so this rider can slot in. So I think that slotted in quite nicely into like the bigger picture here. Oh, we're doing pass cut. And very nice, very just fun moves, just general fun moves that we find fun. Well, what did we did there? Oh, look at that timing though. It was so good. And that timing as well was nice. Booty over X. See how it shapes a bit out, but not the end of the world. That looks so pretty. Everyone like did really have good timing there. So I'm just so proud of these people. And then you can see our two partners like ending off the night on their like final little goodbye. So yeah, it wasn't as deep as our previous routine, but I hope it gives you more of an idea of, if me voiceovering our routine, of what was the general idea going into this. And literally none of these moves were like planned before. We were just like, oh, where are we in the arena? Okay, what moves are in there in the dictionary that we can include here? Okay, we just spent time in the circles, so let's try to split up again. Let's try to have people do different things. Now we're moving this way. So that's just basic concepts. You can obviously take this way further if you look at other routines and so on. But for a beginning, we did like super well. We did not start out this way. So yeah, that's just some cool things to think about, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know if you want to see anything else, and yeah, Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.